Hello. I have tried to film so many times today, but today has just been busy, guys. It has just been absolutely bananas. I am technically starting my September vlog at the tail end of August, and the reason for that being is that I'm already trying to get the August one edited, uploaded, done. You know what I mean? August was fun. We had a mini vacation, but honestly, it didn't really feel like a vacation because it was very stressful with, you know, baby. But anyway, on to books. I read quite a few books last month, and I'm hoping to stay on point. I did purchase my 2 books already for my little reward. I will eventually do a book haul with all of these new books, so I'm not going to tell y'all exactly what they were just yet, but I'm sure some of you can probably guess if you follow me on Instagram or if you listen to me talk about all these books that I want. Anywho, all day today it has been hot, but I have been seeing leaves falling, wind blowing, and I am so ready for fall. I'm so ready for fall. I am done with 100+ degree weather. I am done with swimming. I'm done with sunshine. I need the rainy, overcast, crisp fall days. I want to wake up every morning and see fog on the road. So I actually read one book that I did not film any of. Could I make sentences more difficult for myself? I don't think so. In between August and September vlogs, and that was Hollow Heathens by, who was that? Hold on, let me consult my reading journal. By Nicole Fiorina. I'm probably butchering that name. I enjoyed it. Apparently it is part of either a universe type collection or a series. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't feel like I enjoyed it enough to continue with the series, but I'm still on the fence about it, so I'm gonna hang on to it for now. I gave it a 3.5 star rating. For Spice, I gave it a 2.5 out of 5, which, you know, thinking back on it, that's kind of low because there were some very spicy scenes. But they're just, after reading shit like Haunting Adeline, like, say what you will about it, whether or not you thought it was trash or not, but after reading stuff like that, you just start to think of spice levels differently, you know? Anyway, gave it a 3.5 star. I really enjoyed it. It was a little long. I feel like it could have been condensed down and that would have made the read a little more enjoyable. But I thought it was interesting. I thought it was unique. I liked the characters. But again, there was something about it that didn't make me fall in love with the characters, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't connect with them on that high enough level that makes me want to just chase after the series. I don't know if I'm rambling like a mad person or just what, I don't know. But anyway, I read Hollow Heathens, and the main reason I read that is because I chose a topic, a prompt out of my TBR cup, and it was a feel-good romance, and I realized, looking through my smut and my romance, I don't really have any feel-good romances. Most of them are dark romances, monster romances. Some of those can be feel-good, or like fantasy romances, which again, some of those could be feel-good. But yeah, I wasn't really in the mood for it, and I've had that book sitting on my shelf for like 2 years now, or more. So finally read it, happy about that. I did pick another prompt out of my TBR jar, and it was winter vibes. Winter vibes, and I have been in the mood for horror, so I chose Come With Me by Ronald Malfi. I had originally planned on reading this book for Summerween because I don't remember exactly why it fit one of the prompts. I think it was the Night Sky one, but I just didn't get around to it. I only read A Black and Endless Sky by Matthew Lyons for Summerween, I read one book and it almost encapsulated every single prompt. The one it failed was the one I was so sure that I had thought about, is that it didn't take place during summer. All the other boxes it checked, but whatever. This book gives me very specific winter vibes. So, and it is winter in the book. Also, I am, how many pages in? About 64 pages in. I love the way Ronald Malfi has written this book. I have only ever read one book by Ronald Malfi, and again, I'm so sorry if I'm butchering his name. And it was Floating Staircase, and I liked it, I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it enough to like buy a copy per se. It was kind of like, okay, and I do not mean this in any kind of disrespectful way, because I actually really like Dean Koontz a lot. But for some reason, a lot of people think that Dean Koontz is a bad writer. I like a lot of his works, but I also don't like a lot of his work. You know, he's one of those that's very hit or miss with me, and I usually don't purchase any of his books because the ones I love, I don't love to the extent that is necessary for me to actually purchase a copy. Also, my hair is knotted. Why? Why is it knotted? Why? With that being said, sidebar, even more so, if I can find a nice copy of Watchers, or The Watchers, I can't remember, by Dean Koontz, I will buy it. It was awesome. That book I love. Also love his Frankenstein, is it called the Frankenstein series? I don't remember. That was really good too. But I'm loving the way that Ronald Malfi wrote this book. Come with me. There's a lot of tragedy already in it. There's just something very unique about it. I'm enjoying the writing. I'm enjoying the depths that it is going to, and I feel like there's just so much more to come. If it continues and has a decent ending, I feel like this could easily be a 5-star read for me. So I am going to take my time with this one. That's pretty much it. I'm just going to read when I get a chance and wish for fall to arrive on a fall adjacent note. Again, man, words are just like fucking with me today. I don't know what I'm saying. I did manage to go by a Spirit Halloween this past weekend. It was so nice. Now, it was a smaller one. The two towns that I live in between, there's usually one large one that opens in September in each town, but the little one, there used to be a little one in both of them, but so far this year there's only a little one opened. And it didn't have much. I was a little disappointed in the baby costume section, but some of the decor this year is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Also went by Michael's. And can I just be that person for a minute? Like, just let me be that person. Okay. A lot of the Halloween decor at Michael's is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful, but it is cheaply made, like very cheaply made. And there are some pieces that are very quality at the store. There are some very quality, nice pieces. I'm not saying it's all cheap, but there are some pieces, if you know, you know, that are obviously very cheaply made in like plaster or what have you. They're not like statuary. They're not ceramic. Nothing like that, okay? Why is that shit $60? Why? Like, why? If I look at it wrong, it's going to fracture and disintegrate into dust. Why am I paying $60 for it? I don't care how beautiful it is. I don't. It's just too much. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. But yeah, that's the book I'm working on right now. That's really all I have going on in my life, is reading, working, and taking care of Vincent. And sleeping somewhere in there. not lately. But anyway, I'll check back in with you guys later. Might not be till tomorrow. But yeah. Yay, September. We're finally in the burr months. Hello. It's Tuesday. This week has been busy AF already. So I haven't had just a whole lot of time to sit and read. However, at night, I will admit I have been sacrificing some of my sleep just to be able to read more of Come With Me by Ronald Malfi. This book has got me in its grip, okay? I'm on page 150. There's just slightly less than 400 pages, so not quite halfway, but there we are. It's really good. It's really good. And you know, I was thinking about it because like the way it starts off is a little tropey. Like I feel like maybe I have seen a movie or read another book that was similar. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it does not feel dated. It doesn't feel overdone. And I think the reason for that is because the way Malfi has written this book, it's like a strange perspective. There's mystery, there's this eerie, unsettling feeling that just kind of lingers in your mind when you're reading this book. And it's not going to be for everybody. I can definitely understand if you know you read this and you're kind of bored with it because it does have kind of a slow pace. But I don't know. There is just something about the way this book is written that is just really lovely in my brain. I like it. I dig it. I want to take my time with this one. And I'm very excited to see where it goes. Like I said, I think I said this yesterday whenever I was vlogging, I could potentially see this being a 5-star read. But we'll just have to wait until the end because I'm not even halfway through. And as we all know, books can take a very sour turn by the ending. So there's that. Other than that, I don't really have much to talk about. So I was able to purchase 2 books for my little reward for reading 10 of my physical TBR books. It was such a strange situation because I was so certain I wouldn't be able to find one of the books that I wanted in a local bookstore, and yet I found it. And then the other book that is very popular right now that I knew I wanted to get, I was certain I'd be able to find in a local bookstore, but they were sold out. And the day that I was looking for it, even Amazon was sold out. They were like selling through third-party used book sellers, and I'm just sitting there like, I want this new, which, you know, that's just me being bougie at the moment. But I was just taken aback. I was like, how the fuck is it the day that I go to search for this book, both of the bookstores near me. Barnes & Noble and Books A Million didn't have it. And even Amazon said that they were sold out. But I did finally manage to order it off of Barnes & Noble's website. For whatever reason, they did not offer an in-store pickup option, but that's fine. I just had it shipped to my house. Made it a little bit more expensive, but I don't care. I've been hearing wonderful things about this book, and I'm excited to read it, although I don't know if I'll get around to it anytime soon. Might read it for October, to be honest, because during the month for October, I'm not sure if I'm going to use my TBR cup or not. I really want to read nothing but horror for the month of October. I want to finally read Slewfoot, because I've had that book forever. But yes, I am already in the Halloween spirit. I'm ready for October. I wish October lasted 3 months worth of time. But alas. Anyway, I'm going to stop gabbing at you and get to reading or editing my previous vlog. I'll check in with y'all when I have more of an update. Welcome back. Okay, so it has been a hot minute since I've been able to do literally anything related to filming. Work has been crazy, just a little bit, but that's okay. Well, we take it day by day. But there's been a lot of stuff that I have been doing in the background that I have not filmed, I have not really talked about, so I kind of wanted to bring that up today since I finally get to film again. So just to let you know, I finished Come With Me. I think that's the last book that we talked about. I want to say it was the last book that we talked about, honestly. And also ignore the hair, because it's doing its own thing today, you know what I mean? It's doing its own thing, it's thangin', right? I did end up reading another Daughters of the Moon book. I feel like my glasses are causing issues with lighting, so I did end up reading the 11th Daughters of the Moon book. It was pretty good. Only have 2 books left in that series, and then I'll finally be able to say that I have finished it, right? We love that. Also, I read the entire book Christine by Stephen King. Didn't film none of it. Not a single bit of it. I don't really know why that is. I guess I was just reading a lot at night. I was reading a lot in my car randomly whenever I had breaks. I have been having a very stressful few weeks at work. I need a vacation. But yeah, I started and finished Christine in the time that I have been away from filming. So let me talk to you a little bit about Christine. It was so good. I was not prepared for that book to be as good as it was. You know, the premise sounds stupid. Like, the premise of it sounds stupid, but it's so good. You know? And that doesn't make sense to me. But it was very good. In fact, it may have taken first place so far from Cujo. Cujo has been my all-time favorite Stephen King, which, to just be honest about it, I haven't read much Stephen King in the scope of how many books that man has written. But Cujo has always been my favorite. It has been kind of my least favorite because, I'm sorry, but that book sucks. I don't care what you have to say. But Christine was so good. It kept me going. I did not realize that it was that long. When I found out it was almost 700 pages, I was like, this is going to bore the shit out of me. I'm gonna end up DNFing this book. No, it was wonderful. The writing was great. There were some scenes that were truly creepy and unnerving and downright terrifying and gruesome. So that was awesome. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I kind of wavered a little bit back and forth. I thought about giving it 5 stars quite a bit, but at the end of the day, I do not know how often, if ever, I'm going to reread the book, if that makes sense. But the experience of it was so fun, so fun. So I did deep dive into my TBR jar, cup, whatever you want to call it. And the reason I read Christine was I originally pulled out the TBR prompt of King, because I do have several Stephen King books that I have been ignoring because it burned me out so bad. And so I chose Christine, and that ended up being wonderful. Well, then I went back into the TBR cup and I chose Lovecraft. So I have 2 separate collections of H.P. Lovecraft's works. I have this one, which is beautiful. Can we just talk about how gorgeous it is? It is Penguin's special edition. I actually have the entire set of the books that have these amazing covers like that. I have the whole set. But this does not have his entire works. It just has some of them. But I do have a much larger collection of his entire works. Words are not wording today, you know what I mean? But here we are. I have created a checklist of every single H.P. Lovecraft story that is in these collections. And then I numbered them, and then I used a random number generator to choose which ones I would be reading. And in order for this to count towards reading a book to get to my next, goal of reading 10 books before purchasing 2, I made it to where I had to read enough stories to collectively read about 300 pages. So between the 2 books, I counted out how many pages each story consisted of. Yes, that was a lot of headache work. Why did I feel the need to do that? I don't know. I just wanted it to count. I didn't want to just read like one story that was like maybe 2 pages. So I used a random number generator to find out which stories I would be reading first. I actually started last night and I read The Tomb, and it was so good. It has been so long since I have read anything by Lovecraft that I forget how amazing his writing is. Like, don't get me wrong, he as a person was most likely a horrible, awful individual for the time that he existed. But I really feel like his ability to write beautiful and yet grotesque things, his use of language is just so amazing sometimes. So we loved The Tomb. It was great. I'm gonna keep going with this particular collection today just because it's smaller and it didn't feel like lugging the big one with me all over the universe today. I am planning on leaving work a little early today because we are taking my stepdaughter to the fair tonight, and I want to be able to get there early and be able to get home early enough to actually sleep tonight, because sleep's one of those things I haven't been getting much of lately. Vincent has not been having the best time here lately. He has, I think, a cold or something, and it's been keeping him up at night. Poor baby has not been able to sleep much at all, and it just breaks my little heart for him because I hate seeing him in pain. But yeah, anyway, I will check back in a little later today. Oh, I forgot. I also went, during that long break of filming, I went to see The Crow. And while I do not feel it was the most awful movie. I'm not going to sit here and have a whole rant about it because there's plenty of people ranting and raving about it right now online. I don't feel like it was the most awful movie. I feel like the second half of the movie was actually pretty badass. The opera scene, if you know, you know, was so beautiful. But I do feel like the first half of the movie was complete trash. I do not feel like this movie needed to be a quote-unquote remake or retelling of the original. I feel like if it had no ties to that original movie at all, it almost would have been a better movie experience because you wouldn't be having those expectations on it. You would have just been enjoying it for what it was, you know? Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about it. I still love Bill Skarsgård. I thought he did amazing in his role, even though the writing was a little subpar. That's all I'm going to say about it. So I will check back in with you guys later when I have more to talk about. Welcome back. I am currently on my lunch break. What day is it? It's the 16th of September. I am like 90% certain that I did not film at all last week. Nothing. My hair is doing its own thing today, so I don't want to hear it. Thanks. It is a Monday. I just now, within the past 24 hours, finished editing my August vlog. And I don't like post them specifically for each month. Like, this is the August vlog. I don't do that. I just, post them as reading vlogs because that's essentially what they are, because all I do is sit here and babble at you about books. Maybe a movie here and there, but mostly books. But it was just so sad. I was like, I am halfway through September and I have barely done any filming, and I have not gotten my August video up yet. So, trying to get that posted tonight, maybe tomorrow morning. Work has been hell. I got sick last week and was out for 2 days. And then Vincent was also sick, and so was my partner. So, that was not a fun experience. I mean, don't get me wrong, being away from the stress of work is, nice, but not when you're hacking your lungs up or feeling like just miserable, or taking care of a screaming child who cannot feed on his bottle because he cannot breathe through his nose. It was rough. But anyway, I'm done complaining. That's it for today. This morning has been an adventure in technological issues, but also like really positive people experiences. I'm not entirely sure what's happening, if I just have some kind of aura about me today or what, but I had to run out for a bit on my lunch break to do some errands, and 2 separate random places, 2 separate random people decided to just be so lovely and nice, and I just had like a lovely time interacting with them, and it was so nice. I very rarely ever have that. And part of that, most of that is just my own doing. I tend to exude stay away from me, don't talk to me energy, because I'm not a people person. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's enough of me babbling about my own issues. I don't really remember where I left off filming, because like I said, it's been probably a week or more at this point. I know I talked to you guys a little bit about Christine. That was the last big book that I read. It was wonderful. Gave it a 4.5. Did not expect it to be that good. After that, I pulled a Lovecraft from my TBR prompt cup. But in the meantime, during the day, when I have downtime, when I have lunch breaks and stuff like that, I want something else that I can read that I'm not, getting a legitimate workout carrying around. And so I picked another topic, and that was creature feature. Now, as someone who is obsessed and loves creature feature horror novels and movies, you would think I had more of them, but I was like perusing my collection. I really didn't have that many specific cryptid or creature feature books. But this one in particular has been sitting on my shelves for a very long time, and it's not super long. So we are going to give is it de-evolution or devolution? Devolution? I don't know. By Max Brooks. And apparently he also wrote World War Z, which I never read World War Z, but I did watch the movie, and I really liked the movie. It's one of my mom's favorite movies ever. But yeah, I have heard both good and awful things about this book. Some of the people that I follow on BookTube, Book Talk, whatever you want to call it, liked this book a lot, and some hated this book. But I haven't really seen anybody rant, rave, and love this book. So I don't know if it's going to hit that for me or not, but I figure why not? I'm in the mood for a nice little creature feature, and we're entering spooky season and fall, and I have been on one, you guys, with making boo baskets for my nieces and my step kiddo, and spending way too much money on Halloween stuff. Can I just say that as I have been out and about perusing Halloween stuff, Walmart has surprised the hell out of me this year with just like clothing options. They have such cute stuff for kids, and they have such cute Halloween sweaters and Halloween pajamas for us ladies. And they have some really cool looking horror movie inspired shirts for the men that honestly I kind of want. So I have been spending way too much money on Halloween stuff. I have been trying to focus it more on the kids this year because I always spoil myself every fall and I spend too much money on myself. And this year I really wanted to actually do boo baskets. And I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I know boo baskets are usually like stuff you give your romantic partner or whatever, but I wanted to do these for the kids. And I'm actually going to I'm going to surprise them with the boo baskets on October 1st. And the reason why is because I want them to be able to enjoy the spooky stuff all month long. I want them to be able to have an entire spooky month where they have fun stuff to do and just kind of like revel in their inner cozy spooky selves, right? So I'm gonna surprise them on October 1st with the boo baskets. And then we're also gonna have a family Halloween party. I don't know if we're gonna have it on Halloween this year because Halloween I think is on a Thursday this year, but we might do the weekend after or the weekend before. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, that's enough of me rambling. I'm going to start this book. And I'm probably not gonna get very far in it today because I am near the end of my lunch break, but that's fine. We love that for us. That's all I got. That's all I got. I'll check in with y'all when I have more to talk about. Okay, we're going to do a very quick reading update because it's at the end of the day and I think my microphone's about to die because I haven't charged it in like forever. So, devolution, this. I don't know why this word is so hard for me. I am now on page 90. I got some good reading done today. This book is a little less than 300 pages, so that's awesome. How do I feel about it so far? It's interesting. The way it's written is a little like found footage vibes. So that's pretty cool. We love that. Some of the characters are really annoying, but is what it is. I don't know. I don't really know. The verdict is still out. The jury is still out. Whatever the saying is. My brain is kind of fried today, you guys. It's been a long day. But I don't hate it. I'm not like in love with it yet, but I don't hate it. It's interesting. And some of the concepts that are brought in by like the disaster that takes place in this book, that's not even necessarily related to the creature feature part of it, but it gets you thinking about things in not so great ways. So I'll just leave it at that. But I do look forward to reading the rest of this. Very interesting. I like it so far. But honestly, that's all I'm gonna say about it. So for now, getting ready to go home and cuddle my baby and eat some dinner. And yeah, that's all I got. I will talk to you all on the morrow. pardon me if I look like the fucking crypt keeper at this point, because the past few nights, there has been no sleep. There has been no peace. There has been no rest. Reason being, my baby had some ear infection, and yesterday he got his booster shots for his 6 month checkup, and so he's been spiked a little fever. He started his antibiotics for his ear infection, and I just felt so bad yesterday. Like, I know it's really not that big of a deal, and it's very common for babies to get ear infections, especially with him lately. He has been obsessed with his ears, sticking them fingers all up in his ears, and it's like, no. But yeah. So past couple of nights, I have maybe gotten an hour, 2 hours tops of sleep, and it's not pleasant. But I am glad that I've been able to be there for him. Yeah, it's been roughest on him, and I just feel so bad. And I hope he never remembers these hard times as a baby, because apparently being a baby is just rough. Anyway, so I am finally back at my office. I had to take basically a week's sabbatical from filming and honestly reading, because work has just been insane. And I ended up taking a day off, and I had to work on call on the weekend. It has been a freaking clusterfuck of a time at work. And, I love what I do, and I love my teammates, and it just is what it is, because when you work in the mental health field, things come in waves. When you work in the medical field too, like, things just come in waves, and sometimes you're bust-ass busy all the time, and sometimes you can't figure out how to get through the day because you're so bored. Rarely that, but Anyway, reading update. So I am still making my way through H.P. Lovecraft's work. I'm not trying to read all of it at once, but I did want to read what equates to around 300 pages, because then I feel like a good solid 300 pages I can count towards my book goal. And I have about 5 books left before I can buy a couple more. Now, I will say, my partner has let me cheat a little bit on that, mainly because we went to Half Price Books not that long ago. I sold some of my old books, I made some money, and I basically used that money to buy a couple of used books for super cheap. So he said that doesn't count, and I was like, are you girl mathing right now? But anyway, that's been really nice. I do need to go ahead and probably do a little book haul with you guys. I don't have a whole lot of them, but I think I have enough to do a little book haul, and I've been coming up with some ideas for like little short videos that I can put on here. I think the next video that I'm going to try to do is like a short book recommendation video for spooky season, because I noticed on my shelves, I was like, I have a lot, well, I say a lot to me, horror novellas that I've read and really enjoyed quite a bit. But yeah, I've been working my way through H.P. Lovecraft. I've still been working on devolution. I'm about yay way through chapter 8, page 107. But I also got a Kindle book that I'm actually excited about. So let me remind myself what it's called. Stalked by Seduction and Shadows. It is the Eternal Obsession Book 1, and it is written by, Maggie Sunseri, I think is what her name is. Anyway, I am on chapter 8 already, but I'm only 12% into this book, and I am freaking loving it. It's been a hot minute since I have read a dark-ish romantasy. if that makes sense. But yeah, I started reading this last night. I got about 8 chapters in. They're very short chapters, which I love. Reading on the Kindle actually makes it seem to go by faster, which is kind of nice lately. Plus, reading on my Kindle at night is a little bit easier than reading a book. But I didn't get much read last night because Vincent was not having a good time. And when he's not having a good time, no one's having a good time. So even though I have my drink in a Starbucks cup today, I did not get Starbucks, which is wonderful. That is a good step in the right direction. I have been spending so much money at Starbucks, and it has gotten to the point that it is just ridiculous. It's like an addiction at this point, and I need to treat it thusly and just kind of like cold turkey that bitch. So I made a iced pumpkin chai latte at home this morning. It was super easy. My partner is like a genius when it comes to recreating Starbucks drinks. So he taught me how to do it super easy. And he actually made from scratch some pumpkin syrup to put in there. Now, it's not quite the same as the pumpkin chai at Starbucks because they use like a pumpkin cold brew or cold foam or something like that on it. But it tastes so good. Like, it is so good. It is just as good. It's just not exactly the same, which I'm fine with. But I have noticed that I've been drinking so much chai and tea and coffee at home that I need to cut back and limit myself to how many I can have a day, and then also limit myself to how many times I can go to Starbucks in 1 month, because it should be a small treat. It should not be a daily or even every other day feel like I have to go type of thing, you know? So over the weekend, I made, the second time around, I have made pumpkin chocolate chip muffins. I have been seeing everybody on their vlogs for autumn making pumpkin goods, whether it's cookies, or I actually saw somebody else. I can't remember because I've seen several people do pumpkin chocolate chip muffins. I can't remember who I saw do it first, but it's been a very common trend lately, and I had to try it, and they are so good, so good. So that was fun. Made those. Didn't really do much this weekend because Vincent was sick and I was working on call. We got out of the house a little bit, but not much, which is fine by me because honestly I got some cleaning done at home. I want to get some more cleaning done this weekend, and me and my mom are planning on starting the decorating process for our Halloween decorations this weekend, so I'm excited. But other than that, I really don't have any updates. That was pretty much it. But yeah, I'll probably be putting up some shorter videos, at least one shorter video before this vlog comes out. So yeah, that's all I got. I guess I'll check back in with y'all when I have more. Okay, so I just finished Devolution, I don't know how to say it, by Max Brooks. Very short little book. He wrote World War Z. I liked this. I liked this a lot. It wasn't anything groundbreaking for me. It wasn't anything like, oh my God, best book of my life, cry fest, anything like that. But it was just interesting. Like, it kept my interest for the most part. I think the fact that it is shorter is a strength of this book, because if it dragged on any longer, I probably would have gotten very bored with it and DNF'd it. There's only so much you can do with this type of book, in my opinion, but I enjoyed it, especially the second half of the book when things get super amped up and you get a lot more action, a lot more gore. So if you do ever read this book and you find the first little snippet of it a little blah, just know that the gore definitely hits its stride in the second half. But this is by no means like a super gory, disturbing book. This is almost like a horror-ish adventure story. Survival story. That's basically what this is. But it is really interesting. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the descriptive writing. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed seeing the humans in this story devolve and become, you know, closer to our ape brethren than I think anyone is comfortable with. But yeah, definitely an interesting story. Definitely, it has a like an open-ended, very mysterious ending to it. So if you are someone who has to have those very like tightly closed, neat endings, this book's probably not for you, because it does leave a lot for interpretation and your imagination and stuff like that, which I usually like. So I had a good little time with it. Anyway, one book closer to my goal of purchasing 2 more. I have 4 books left to reach that goal. I am still working through a lot of H.P. Lovecraft's work. And then I'm also working on a new Kindle book that I got. What is this thing called again? Stalked by Seduction and Shadows. Fun. That's just fun. I'm just barely into my Kindle book though, so it'll be a hot minute before I get through with that, because I think that one's actually almost like 600 pages. Anyway, I hope y'all are enjoying life. Work has been thoroughly kicking my ass this week. Very depressing, very much. But yeah, I'm just barely into Stalked by Seduction and Shadows. But I'm really liking the descriptive writing on it. Like, it is very tropey, but honestly, like, come on. It is a dark romantasy. We love all the tropes. Give me the stalker, obsessed, brooding, immortal man. Give me the feisty, fiery human woman who everyone, you know, underestimates. And then she ends up thoroughly kicking everyone's ass. We love that. Anyway, I have been watching a lot of other booktubers recently, and I've been watching Jody over on her channel. I will link it down below. I'm sure if you are involved in the booktube community at all, you know exactly who I'm talking about. She hosts this readathon in October that I have never really heard of, which, to be fair, I'm not exactly in. I don't really even consider myself a booktuber, because like those people, like that's what they do for like a living, and it's more than just a hobby. It's more than just, you know, a thing. But anyway, she hosts this readathon along with a couple of other booktubers called Vampathon, and let me tell you, as soon as I watched her video about it, I was like, I must be involved somehow. Because like, it's called Vampathon. That's just beautiful. Anyway, that's enough of me blathering on like a crazy person. I will check back in with you guys probably tomorrow. I don't have much going on right now other than trying to survive this work week. This work week has been hell for mental health, and it's starting to be a little taxing on my own. So I'm going to be taking some time to just center and find my inner peace and read. So I'll update you guys as I get through some of these books and short stories that I'm going through. Good morning. It's Friday. So, I don't even remember the last thing I talked to you guys about. I know that yesterday I finished Devolution by Max Brooks. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I also read more in Stalked by Seduction and Shadows. I am on chapter 13 now. And I'm really enjoying the writing. Like, yes, this book is very tropey. It is very, like, so far anyway, it is very, like, stereotypical of a dark-ish fantasy romance. So, like, yeah. But this author, she writes so pretty, guys. She writes so damn pretty. The descriptions and just like the lyrical way, the lyrical prose, I dare say, that rhymed by accident, is so lovely. So lovely. If this book ends up being as good as I think it's going to be, I may have to buy a hard copy, and I may have to get this series in hard copy, because this is the type of writing I'm going to want to revisit in the future because it's just so damn pretty. You know what I mean? But it's nothing like groundbreaking as far as plot so far. I'm enjoying the characters, but they are very like tropey characters. So I'm not going to lie to you about that. But these are tropes that I enjoy. So it's like, I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. I enjoy these types of tropes. And I'm excited to actually read a vampire-focused fantasy romance because Vampathon is coming up. I talked to y'all a little bit about that yesterday and I'm so excited about it. I literally made a journal spread in preparation. I already started looking at all the books on my shelves to see if I have anything that can like cover those topics to where I can get a bingo on the bingo card and all this stuff. I am so excited about it, you guys. I'm so excited about it. I sort of got to participate in Summerween this year, but I was so busy and things were so hectic with Vincent and everything that I didn't really get to participate to the fullest. Now that Vincent is a little bit older, I'm hoping that I can actually participate in these readathons. But anyway, that's all I have to say. I will check in with you guys later when I have more to say. Admittedly, I look like shit right now, so don't judge me. It has been a long day at the end of a long week in the mental health field. It's been too much. It has literally been too much. I don't know where all these children are coming from, but it has been too much. Anyway, we're not talking about work. We're not talking about work because we don't do this for that, okay? We're going to talk about Stalked by, what is it called? Stalked by Seduction and Shadows. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That right there, guys. That right there. Stalked by Seduction and Shadows by Maggie Sunseri. Oh my God. Like, I have not had little giggle fits like this while reading a romantasy in a hot minute. In a hot minute. I'm loving Rune, okay? And at first I thought he was gonna be a little bit of a drag because he's super broody, which, come on, you know, that's typical. But no, okay, like, we are a little bit of an arrogant asshole, which, you know, equal parts arrogant asshole and broody, soft-spokenness. Is just perfection. In fictional men, mind you, I'm not one of these people that wants any bit of that drama in my real life. I'm not one of them. They can have that. I don't want it. But I love this so much, you guys. The writing is so pretty. So pretty. Like, I cannot stop raving about the fact that, like, it's just so pretty. And I don't even know what it is about it. Some of the words that the author chooses to use in certain situations, the descriptions of certain things are just beautiful. Magnifique. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm very much enjoying this. I think there is going to be a lot more moments to come. I'm enjoying the female lead. What was her name again? Scarlet. We like Scarlet. I don't know. We just like it. We just, I say we. Like, what is wrong with me? I really like this book so far. If it continues to be this good, I will most likely continue with this series. So that's exciting. But yeah, there was one quote in the book that literally made me, like, set my Kindle down and just be like, I had to message my partner. Because I was just like, you do not understand what this man just said in this book. He said, go ahead and say whatever bratty thing you want to say. You're still going to obey me. I'm paraphrasing because that's not exactly what the quote was, but oh my God. I was like, have I finally found a romantic quote from a book that could translate over to real life and still be hot? You know what I'm saying? Because, like, 9 times out of 10, we all know that when you read a dark romance or a fantasy romance or something like that, and, like, the male lead usually has all of these super cringy things to say. In the book, it works fine. You know, it's like, okay. But in real world, you would literally look that person up and down and be like, in what world? In what world? But I'm sorry, if my partner was to say that to me, I could dig that. Because it's so realistic. Go ahead and say whatever bratty thing you need to say. You're still, oh, come on. I love that. That might be my favorite quote to date that I have seen in a, like, dark romance type situation. Anyway, that's all the updates I have for today. That's literally all I've been able to do. I recently filmed a shorter video about short spooky books for spooky season. That's not what I'm going to title it. That's saying the word spooky way too much. But I don't know if I want to redo it or not, because I had to film it at home at night, and I had to kind of, like, take the mic and do a little bit of, like, super close audio, and I just don't really like how it sounds. That, and I really want to start filming in front of my actual bookshelves again, because I love my shelves. I love them so much. Like, they're not perfect by any means, and I have a lot of work still to do on them, but I want to film in front of my shelves. But I haven't been able to, so that's been kind of depressing. Anyway, we're towards the end of the day, so I probably will not read any more today, maybe before bedtime, I'm not sure. But I've really been enjoying this book. I'm now about 31% of the way through, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, anyway, it's Friday, going home, gonna relax, gonna enjoy this weekend. My step kiddo's birthday party is this weekend. So, good time. Good time. All right, I'll see y'all later. It's fucking Monday. And it feels like a Monday. You know when Mondays be Monday-in? Fuck that shit. I'm very proud of myself this morning because I made a pumpkin chai latte at home and brought it with me. And I didn't stop by a Starbucks. Listen, this morning I am a new woman. I made my drink. After, I made a bagel. And I used vegan cream cheese with chives and onion flavoring on the bagel. And it kind of sounds gross. Like, it kind of sounds like that would be disgusting, right? And it's the Daya brand. Let me tell you, back in the day when I first tried to go full-blown vegan and then backtracked real quick because all the vegan shit in my area was absolutely gross, Daya was one of the worst. I'm just gonna be straight up with you. Daya cheese was disgusting. So I had very little hopes for this, but actually it was really good. I think they've been stepping their game up. I've heard good things from people who are legitimate vegans. No, I am not a vegan, I'm a vegetarian, and yes, you can comment on that if you just must, but whatever, don't care. Anyway, with it being Monday, I must say this past weekend was so fucking good, you guys. I didn't film not one fucking second of it, mainly because it had to do with the kiddos, and I'm not putting my children out here on the internet, at least not anytime soon. So my step kiddo's birthday was Saturday, and it was really nice, really good time. Then Sunday, me and my partner and my baby just hung out at the house. We went into town for a little bit, had some good food, looked at some Halloween stuff. I got to buy some of these really cute, I will interject a little clip, or at least a photo of the little measuring cups that I got at Home Goods. And my partner is finally on board with me getting a new Halloween blanket for the season. So might be picking that up today. While I'm in town at work, I'm going to take a lunch and swing by Walmart. And the Walmart over here in this little podunk town has so much better Halloween shit than all the other Walmarts I've been to. And I'm wondering if it's because there's not as many people over here. So like the stock has actually remained on the shelves. Whereas over in the bigger cities where I sometimes have to go, because I live in between two much larger cities, they're larger to me, okay? For the rest of the world, they would be little blips on the map. But at least they're on the map. Anyway, they can't keep stuff on the shelves because the demand is too high. There's just too many people wanting all the same stuff, which is fine and dandy, but I haven't been lucky enough to land certain things that I've seen at this Walmart. So he's finally on board with me getting some things. Really just a blanket, but I'm excited. I brought my Kindle. I think the last update I did with you guys about Stalked by Seduction and Shadows was a positive one. However, over the weekend, I think it was over the weekend, it got real cringe real fast, which was really disappointing. Like, it is kind of getting better again because I got through the really awful cringe scene, which unfortunately was the first like spicy encounter that our two love interests share. I just didn't like how it, I just didn't like it. We went from this brooding, I hate to say it, but like soft dom vampire lord who I absolutely loved, and I loved the way he thought, and I loved his dialogue, I loved his banter with our female character. And then all of a sudden, you know, some sexy stuff happens, and now she's supposed to be calling you God. Or not, okay, not that she's supposed to call him God, but he did the thing. He did the thing, like the most cringe, thing of the, like, I'm gonna become your God. Like, I can't get past that shit. I can't get past that shit for the life of me. The minute they start bringing in the whole, you're gonna call me God, or I'm gonna be your God bullshit, I don't care how much I liked the book before that, it ruins it for me. It ruins it for me. Now I am gonna finish it. Like, let me see how far I am. I wanna say I'm about halfway through. Maybe not. I'm 45% of the way through. I am gonna finish it because even though that awful cringe moment happened, the author's writing is still beautiful. I think maybe the author, at least per the first sexual encounter, maybe she just doesn't write sex scenes well. I don't know. But that was like, made me pop my head back. I was just sitting there by myself reading. I wish I had been filming me read at that point, because I was just like, I'm sorry, what? What just happened? Who are you? You are not the lovable, brooding vampire king or whatever that you are that I fell in love with like 2 chapters ago. What is this? Like, what is this? I don't know, but I'm hoping that maybe it's just a situation where like the sex scenes are just not well written, but the rest of it is. Like, the rest of the descriptions are beautiful. The rest of the banter and the dialogue is so fun, and I'm enjoying that part. But yeah, if all of the sex scenes in this book are like that, I don't know if I can continue. I might have to DNF it, which seriously pisses me off because I am literally 4 books away to reaching my goal of being able to purchase 2 more books. For those of you who do not know, I have a goal of reading 10 books, or the equivalent of 10 books on my TBR before I'm allowed to purchase 2 books. Now, thinking about it now, I should probably make sure those are on my physical TBR, but we're counting this. But yeah, anyway, the past couple of weeks at work have been total cluster fucks. I don't like to share too much about what I do with work because it's very private. I work in mental health, and I specialize in crisis response, which makes me sound like an EMT. I am so very much not an EMT. I am not here to save someone who's having a heart attack, okay? Not at all. But yeah, mental health work has been booming lately, and a lot of it has been children, and that just really wears on my emotions. Not saying that the adult work doesn't get very overwhelming sometimes too, but when it's nothing but like these young kids who are just dealing with so much, it is hard. So, not to mention I am now off my meds. And I'm not really supposed to be, but my pharmacy decided to be a little bitch and take forever and a day to get me my medication. So at that point, I had already been without them for several days, and I was like, fuck it, let's just try and go without and see if I can cope. If I can't cope, I'll be calling my doctor and being like, hey, let's change pharmacies. I'm sorry, Walgreens, but y'all fucking suck. At least that particular one does. So I'm gonna give CVS a shot. I doubt they're any better, but at least there's one closer to where I live. So, anyway. I don't know what else to talk about right now. I did also bring some crochet stuff to work. I have a project in mind, and I honestly do not know if this yarn is gonna work for it, but I'm gonna try. I got this at Walmart. Isn't it cute? I love all the different shades of like browns and tans. Anyway, I have a personal project for making some small crochet pumpkins. And I am hoping that I can at least get started on that project today. Anyway, today is gearing up to be potentially very busy. However, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Oh. But yeah, I'm probably not going to film any while I'm at Walmart. I might if it's really not busy and there's not many people. I have a list that I need to stick to, but I really want to get some fall colored nail polish. My nails are jacked the fuck up right now because I keep chewing on them. And that's even when I was on my medications. Like, I don't know what has been happening to me. I used to have this, you know, picking, chewing habit when I was much younger, and then I didn't do it for so long, and then like I needed to get on some medications, especially after I gave birth to Vincent, because my hormones and everything was just so far gone. And ever since I got on the medications, I've been picking and chewing and all this stuff all over again. So it's like, I don't know if the medications were even really helping, but whatever. We'll see. I have my coping mechanisms, reading, new crochet project. I'm not very good at crochet at all. I've only ever been able to make a couple of hats last winter, and then I just put it down and didn't pick it back up. I would really like to start making more stuff. But that's just me. Anyway, I hope you guys are living your best life, loving the fall. I live in Texas, which, by the way, why are there so many of us booktube community type, which, you know, I have like a, I'm not really in the community per se, but why are there so many booktubers who are down here in Texas? Like, why are we not all connected? Why are we not all besties at this point? There's so many of y'all who are down here in Texas with me. Granted, probably hours and hours away, but still. But yeah, it's still very hot down here. Some of the leaves have started to fall, and I think it's some kind of nature's way of saying, haha, fuck you. I'm gonna give you the visual, but not the feeling. And it's like, I need the colder weather. In the mornings, it's pretty cold. I say pretty cold, it's like in the 60s, low 70s, which is nice. But anyway, I'm rambling at this point, so I'm just gonna get off of here and go about my life. So yeah. It is later in the day. It's been pretty steady as far as like how busy it's been at work. I decided to try my hand at crocheting again. I don't know if I ever put anything about it on this channel or if I've even mentioned it really before. I know I did earlier in this vlog, but you know, in prior videos. I like a stereotypical book girly, became fascinated with crocheting at one point, and I really wanted to give it a go for myself. I am one of those people that picks up hobbies left and fucking right. And as soon as I pick them up, I no longer feel interested in doing them. I don't know what kind of mental illness that is exactly, but I have it. Anyway, I just ate a bunch of chips. So now I feel like there's a bunch of chips in my teeth. Why do you need to know that? I don't know. That's a good question. Anyway, I learned some things the hard way with crocheting. No one laugh. Okay, you can laugh. I honestly laughed. This is supposed to become a crochet pumpkin, right? And you know, the shape is not bad. And I have this yarn. So, I mean, it's gonna have all sorts of different colors and whatnot, but it's very fall looking, right? I love that. I love that. But I tried to use regular, like, napkins, like industrial type napkins to fill it, because I don't actually have any stuffing. And I was like, oh, sure, this will work. Well, then I got to the part in the instructional video I was watching where it says you have to put the little needle, whatever it's called, all the way through. And don't nothing get through industrial strength napkins. So I am going to probably throw this away if I can't undo it at some point and put proper stuffing in. I just need to go buy some. Plus it will make it a little less lumpy, although I want my little crochet pumpkins to look organic. I want them to look weird, like real life pumpkins, instead of, you know, just picture perfect, which is good because I don't do perfect things. Except for my child. He came out perfect. Ugh, I'm one of those moms. Anyway, I don't really have anything to talk about. I think I last updated y'all about Stalked by Seduction and Shadows this morning, and then I did some B-roll of me actually reading it. This book has me on a fucking whatever that is. This book is messing with my emotions because, like, I had about decided that I didn't like our main male character after the whole God thing. Ugh, it still makes me cringe, by the way. It is still very cringeworthy, that particular part. However, while I was reading a couple of chapters earlier, some really heavy shit happens to our female main character. And he is so caring. He is so considerate. He is no longer, I mean, in this particular situation, he's not being an arrogant asshole. Which, don't get me wrong, like, I like arrogant asshole-ish. But there has to be a switch. You know, you have to turn it on and off. And can we just leave the word God out of it? Anyway, but he is being so sweet, and he is being so caring to her, and he is being there for her like a lot of us women wished men in our lives would be there for us. And not in a, and this is like beyond the realm of romance. I mean, a male friend, a father figure, a brother, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of us have had experiences where we would have given just about anything to have a strong male figure in our lives provide, you know, that sense of protection and understanding. And I know that that's not exactly healthy because you can't rely on other people to validate you and pick you up and dust you off. But, you know, whereas women are just kind of expected to do that for our loved ones, I feel like a lot of the times men don't know how, or just don't care enough to do that for a loved one. I mean, it sounds really shitty, and I'm not turning this vlog into a let's talk shit about men thing. I think there are millions, maybe thousands, I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm a jaded motherfucker, but there are plenty of wonderful men in the world. Like, there really are. I am with one of them. I don't know how that happened. I don't know why the cosmos smiled on me in that way, but I'm very grateful that it did. Anyway, I will definitely be raising my son to be more empathetic and caring and considerate. Like, you can be a tough badass and be there emotionally. Like, you can do both. I don't understand why that's difficult. And it's not just difficult for men a lot of the time. It's difficult for women too. Anyway, before I invite any more commentary about my opinions, that's all I've really been doing today. In between, you know, the ongoing trauma dumpage. You know, when you work in mental health, you get used to being trauma dumped on, if that makes sense. Because, like, it's your job. And, like, I dare say most, if not all, people who choose to work in mental health do it because they, at least in the beginning somewhere, genuinely cared about other people and were interested and intrigued by the concept of, like, being able to help people through the mental stuff, right? But just like working in healthcare, just like working in law enforcement or something like that, you get burned out so easily. You have to create this, like, you have to walk this very fine line between being too empathetic and, like, taking on too much of other people's trauma and, like, emotionally damaging yourself versus becoming too jaded and cold to where you cannot give good care anymore. And it's very difficult, especially when you have, like, really rough weeks where it just feels like you're getting pounded day and night. And I'm not, like, talking about all this stuff to, you know, get any kind of sympathy or whatever. I chose this field and I'm still glad to be in this field. And I will stay in this field for as long as I can mentally knock it, right? But I don't know, I just talk about it because, like, coping mechanisms, coping skills, things that people talk about all the time in therapy or treatment programs, yada yada yada. Anyone who's ever been through a treatment program will probably roll their eyes when they hear certain types of coping skills being used, but some of them are really effective if you put the effort in and don't, like, belittle it, like, genuinely give your all into that experience. And there actually was a beautiful coping skill used in this book that I'm reading. In Stalked by Seduction and Shadows, there's this chapter where our female main character is assaulted, and, you know, she has a history of several different types of assault, if you get my meaning. And our male main character, of course, you know, comes in, saves the day, tears people limb from limb, all the good things. But after that, there's so many books, especially romance novels or fantasy romance, where the male characters are only the physical protection, right? They just come in and save the day and swoop them off to wherever. But it's like, what if you could be someone's hero mentally or emotionally, allowing her space and giving her choice? You know what I mean? Like, the male main character has definitely gotten right back in my good graces. Absolutely love him just for that one scene. Just for that one scene of just, like, him putting everything else aside, no cocky attitude, no arrogant bullshit. It's not even a scene where you think about him being a vampire lord or this, you know, overpowered being. And you don't even think about that. You don't even think about him being this immortal being and her being human. You literally just see them as two beings in a room, and he is giving such beautiful mental and emotional support and helping her walk through coping skills to where it grounds her, because she, you know, and I'm not trying to give any spoilers or anything, but she has certain coping skills that while they do work for her and they are effective, they take a big toll on her mental. And it's like this, I don't know, it's just this beautiful scene of him like teaching her this new skill and walking her through it. And to me, that is just the most romantic thing. And it doesn't have to be after some trauma, you know what I mean? It doesn't always have to be circulated around some trauma, but like if you, and it goes both ways. It absolutely goes both ways. I don't think men's mental health is talked about near enough. And no, I'm not trying to get on a soapbox about anything, but like, everybody's got problems. Everybody's got bullshit they have to deal with, men included. And I feel like the coping skill for a lot of men is just to emotionally shut down and distance themselves. But for women, it absolutely does not work. We need that emotional support. We need, you know, someone to show that they do care, that they are concerned, even if they cannot fix the situation physically or make everything better. Just knowing that someone is sitting in the situation with you oftentimes is enough. It's enough. And damn, like having a partner who's literally willing to work through these, you know, mundane sounding coping skills is just very beautiful to me. But that's all I'm gonna say about it. Okay, we're gonna lighten our attitude after that, because that got a little heavy. Today's been a little heavy. It hasn't been as like, you know, kicking my ass as last week was, at least not yet, knock on wood. But today has definitely been a heavy day of like taking on other people's burdens in a way. Anyway, that was a lot of heavy talk. Can we just say that Rune is back in my good graces? I already know he's gonna fall out of them a little bit with the set scenes, because if he keeps up with that, ooh. But you know what? I'll cut him some slack after that. I'll cut him some slack. I will. So, yeah, that's really all I've been having going on today. I'm going to probably read a little bit more if time permits. It's towards the end of the day now. And yeah, I guess I'll probably check in with you guys tomorrow. I might do a little bit of B-roll footage of all the cool spooky Halloween things that me and my partner have acquired over the past few days. I'm super excited because tomorrow is October 1st and I have put together boo baskets for my step kiddo and my two nieces. And I'm working alongside my sister who works from home and my partner who is the stay-at-home parent right now. I shouldn't even say it like that, who is the full-time parent right now. I'm working with both of them to set up the boo baskets so that when the girls get off the school bus and they go into their bedrooms, they're just sitting there. And I'm trying to think of a cute little thing I can write on their Halloween cards. Something like, you know, you are cordially invited to participate in this spooky season by accepting our boo basket. I don't know how I'm gonna word it yet, but I'm so excited. I am sad that I won't get to see the surprise happy looks on their faces. I hope they enjoy the boo baskets. I plan on making this a yearly thing, although I probably will not spend as much as I did this year every year. But yeah, I'm just so excited for October 1st. Like I celebrate spooky season all year long because that's just like ingrained in me. It's what I love. But something about October, man, that month, everything just starts to change. down here in Texas, it's usually at the very end of the month that it starts to get consistently cooler and the leaves start changing color and really falling. But yeah, I am babbling so much at this point. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Oh shit. I immediately started off that by hitting my mic. That's just how we do things. So, it's Tuesday. I did not do any B-roll of the like tiny Halloween decor haul last night because I got out of work super late. And by the time I got home, I was so tired. Not to mention I forgot my fucking camera in my office at work. So, you know, I mean, I could have just filmed it on my phone, but I don't want to do that. So I'm going to try to do that this evening. I'm in the process of creating a bunch of crochet pumpkins, like little tiny pumpkins. I want to try to make a medium-sized pumpkin too, maybe even a big one at some point if I get super ambitious. Anyway, so this is where I'm at in my process. I'm just basically making a bunch of what I call pumpkin skins or tubies. In preparation, because I actually don't have the stuffing right now, so I can't really fill them up and complete them until I get the stuffing, which I'm going to try to do when I go on work, or when I go on lunch, when I go on work. Michelle, when I go on lunch. And then I'm going to see how many I can get finished today. A lot of it just depends on how busy work keeps me. Yesterday wasn't all that busy, but it ended on a note that was not fun, and yeah, to say the least. But anyway, the crocheting has been really helpful and really stress relieving. I did not, as a complete side note, because my brain is complete chaos today, I did not get any farther in Stalked by Seduction and Shadows because I ended up leaving pretty much everything in my office last night. I was so fed up and done with yesterday after the bullshittery at the end of the day. It was almost 6 o'clock by the time I left. And I just wanted to get home and see my baby and eat because I was starving. So yeah, I just pretty much dropped everything and said, fuck it, I'll be there tomorrow. But yeah, I am going to be taking lunch soon. So I am going to be going to Walmart yet again. I know, I was just there yesterday. But I'm going specifically to get crocheting supplies. I really only need stuffing, but I'm thinking about getting some white and black yarn because while I've been making these pumpkins, I saw this really cute YouTube video, I forget who did it, but about making these tiny little crochet ghosties, and I'm just like, I need that in my life so bad. Holly Anna, I'm gonna link her channel down below because she is one of the first crochet people that I have watched on YouTube that when she says for beginners, she means it. And the way she explains how to do every little piece makes sense in my brain, whereas some of the others I've tried to watch, it just is not clicking. You know what I mean? Everybody has their person that they click with when it comes to learning, and I really vibe with her channel so far. I like it a lot. I think I'll probably be deep diving into her other patterns at some point too. But anyway, I'm going to basically turn this entire thing of yarn into nothing but a bunch of pumpkins. I plan on giving some to my coworkers. I plan on giving some to my family. Yeah. Also, I totally forgot to get video footage of the boo baskets. I'm going to try to have my partner and my sister film or at least get a couple of pictures of the boo baskets that I made for my nieces and my step kiddo before they, you know, decimate them because they get home from school way before I get home from work. And I could have just brought them the boo baskets myself after work, but I wanted it to be kind of a surprise for them, like something that perks them up after they get home from school. I mean, I never want any of the kids to have a bad day at school, but I just wanted it to be like this nice little surprise for them, so that no matter what kind of day they had at school, they end up having a happy evening because they get a bunch of, you know, cutesy things for spooky season. And I want this to become a family tradition on my part, that the kids, including my son, probably starting as early as next year, because he'll be, a year and 6 months, a year and 7 months by then. Won't go all out with his, but I would just want this to become a yearly tradition, that I can do boo baskets on October 1st, so that they have some cute spooky things, some cute like spooky snacks and all the things to enjoy throughout the month, instead of just, oh, we're only going to celebrate spooky season on one day. I want them to love it as much as I do. And it's okay if they don't. Like, they don't have to be a horror fanatic like I am or anything like that. I specifically made it cutesy and spooky so that all of them would enjoy it, instead of just me and my niece Charlotte, who is like the only one, I think, that's actually into things that are somewhat scary. So that's exciting. But yeah, I am going to see how many of these little pumpkin skins or tubes I can make before I go on lunch. But again, that depends on how busy work is. I don't have a whole lot of downtime. I know it might seem like that because I do the majority of my filming while I'm at work, but just to kind of give a disclaimer, 9 times out of 10, I only film when I'm on a break, a lunch break, or before work, because I do tend to get here very early in the morning. But every now and then I'll pop in just, you know, when I have 5 minutes of downtime, and rant and rave about stuff. But anyway, I am ranting, rambling, all the things. I had such a delicious bagel this morning. I didn't bother filming it because our kitchen at home right now is a wreck, like an actual disaster. I need to clean it so bad. I need to clean my whole house, guys. Like, this whole full-time working and then being busy on the weekends lately, and then just with the 2 kids, which, you know, my step-kiddo's fine. She's 8 now. So, I mean, you know, she's a typical 8-year-old, but with Vincent and having a baby and, like, still acclimating to it, I love it. I love every second of it, but it does leave very little room for just daily chores. And, yeah. So, anyway, not to mention my partner's getting sick again, and that's not good. That's not good. That poor man, he's been sick so many times, and it's not even like cold yet. But I think a lot of it happens, cause I'm sure you other parents out there will know that, like, once school starts again, oh my God, it is just hell for a while, because, like, you know, all the kids have to go to school, therefore they're sharing all the germs and bringing them all back home, and yeah, the immune system is not up to the task. Anyway, I have rambled enough. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week wherever y'all are. That's it. That's it for right now. I'm hoping that I can keep to my promise and not walk out of Walmart with a bunch of Halloween shit that I can't afford. Crochet projects only. Oy. Okay, it is later in the day. And I have done some things. You know, I think the smaller ones look a little more like pumpkins. I really wanted to try and make a big one. I think there were a couple of things I did wrong on this one. But you know what? I still like it. And they're my first attempts. And you know what? I'm going to keep them here in my office in case people need stress balls. Because it's kind of therapeutic to just sit here and squish, squish, squish. But yeah, these are my lumpy, somewhat shitty crochet pumpkins. But you know what? I had a good time making them. And you know, I'm not here to be the best crochet artist, person, what have you. But I did try, and you know, these are my first attempts, so I can only get better from here, right? I did end up reading just a tiny bit more of Stalked by Seduction and Shadows. I am at 53%. Can you see that? Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that, but I'm at 53%. And I'm enjoying the banter right now. You know, our lead main character has not gotten all like annoyingly cocky again like he was for a little bit. Why you not stay where I put you? Whatever. Today's been a alright day. I need to get better at forming the pumpkin. I don't really have any metal needles. I should have picked some up while I was at Walmart today. I need to grab one because the way the lady, what was her name again? Holly Ann, I think. I've linked her down below, so don't listen to me. She was using a metal needle to thread it through the pumpkin and kind of create that pumpkin-y shape. I didn't have one. All I had was plastic, and it kept getting so stuck by all of like the stuffing and whatnot. It just was not cutting it. So I do need to get a metal needle. I might go pick one of those up tomorrow. We'll see. I'm trying to figure out if I want to leave my crochet materials here, because at home I have absolutely no time to work on the on pumpkins or anything. Like, there's no time for that, except for like right before bed, and I prefer to read right before bed, so it is what it is if I do anything, because half the time once my head hits the pillow I am gone, and that's just it for however many few hours I get each night. Oh man. But anyway, I'm enjoying the banter. We love that. I am still working on my HP Lovecraft. I know I've mentioned this before, but I basically have accumulated 300 pages worth of his stories, because I have all of his works. Giant fucking collection of them. And I'm not entirely sure why. I guess I went through an HP Lovecraft phase, but I've noticed that I've never actually read most of them. So now I am on a deep dive into HP Lovecraft's writing. So I have accumulated 300 pages worth of stories, and I am working my way through them. I think I have about 10 stories left before I'm done, and that will count as a book towards my goal of purchasing 2 more books. The Stalked by Seduction and Shadows will count, so then I'll really only have 2 books left before I'm able to purchase 2 more. And let me tell you guys, I don't know what books I want to purchase, because like, to kind of feed that desire for book shopping, I will sometimes just look at my Amazon wish list and be like, which ones do I really want? Really shouldn't do that, because there's too many to count. And there's newer books coming out all the time that are just like gorgeous, and I want them. One I keep seeing everywhere is, I think it's called The Immortal Dark. Hold on, let me check and make sure I have that right. Yes, Immortal Dark. There is a deluxe edition out right now. It's at Walmart, it's at everywhere, that has these beautiful sprayed edges. And I guess it is going to be a series, because I'm looking at Amazon, it says Immortal Dark Book 1. I don't know, it has really good ratings. I've been hearing a lot of good things about it, and the book itself is just so beautiful. And with Vampathon coming up, I really want more books that I could potentially read that are vampire centered. But, you know, it is what it is. Another one that I've been curious about is William by Mason Coyle. And I have an entire backlist of Ronald Malfi's works that I now want to acquire and read, because I've just, him and Stephen Graham Jones, I'm just convinced they are like my authors. And then another one that I keep seeing on Bookstagram, whatever it's called, however we say it, is Down into the Sea by Dan Franklin. And I read the synopsis for that book and it sounds really interesting. And it doesn't have many reviews on Amazon at least, but they're good reviews, the few ones that are there. So that's kind of cool. Another one is Ghost Mother. Oh my God, it's unending. It is literally unending. Ronald Malfi has a new one coming out next year, I believe. Then there's this book called Mischief Night Massacre. It's a little short story collection about Halloween I really want. Oh my God, like A Mask of Flies by Matthew Lyons. That's top tier, that's up there. Sleep Tight by J.H. Markert. Really want that one. I've been like really loving the look of this book called Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout. That name sounds familiar, but I don't think I've ever read anything by her. It's YA, and it's like this sci-fi type romance from what I can tell. But I keep seeing it everywhere, and the synopsis really intrigued me, and I have a love-hate relationship with YA. Some of the YA books I have read, I've loved so much. So much. But then a lot of them, in fact, the majority, just didn't click for me. So I don't know. I've been curious about branching back out into YA and just having like some cozier books that might have like a little bit of a paranormal flair to them. Because I have been reading, well, not lately, but honestly, for the past few months, I have been reading pretty hardcore horror. And it might be nice to just read something that's a little softer. But yeah, there's just so many, you guys. Is there a compilation of how many fucking books I have on this list? There's not. There's so many. Well over 100, I think. Let me see. Yeah, it's gotta be well over 100. Because my manga is on here too. God, it's so many. Anyway, that's all I have for today. I'm feeling a little run down. I know my partner is sick, so I'm hoping I am not also getting sick, because that's gonna suck. But yeah, I think I probably will leave my crochet stuff here and just kind of continue to work on these little pumpkins and maybe incorporate some ghosts if I can figure out how to do. I want to get confident with the pumpkins. I have dedicated this entire roll of yarn to pumpkins. So I'm gonna get good at making them eventually. I just don't know when. But yeah, I am going to try at some point to do a little B-roll clip of the just a couple of things Halloween and horror related that I've been purchasing lately. I do need to do a book haul. I think I have finally acquired enough books to do a mini book haul. It's very small, but it's interesting, to say the least. But yeah, today's October 1st, which throws into shock the fact that I should be ending this vlog and starting October's vlog. And I did have a couple of ideas I wanted to do in October for some shorter video content, because I know some of you guys have been asking for that. I make that sound like there's just a ton of you out there. The few people who watch and actually like watch the videos, I appreciate you guys so much. Like, I literally just do this as a hobby. I'm not trying to get famous. I'm not trying to like make money off of it. I do this because I literally don't have an outlet in my day-to-day life to rant and rave about fucking books. And books are my therapy. I know that's weird, but actually it's not weird. Y'all know, if you're watching this, you know exactly what I mean. Books are my therapy. Anyway, I'm probably going to close out this vlog with some B-roll of like the Halloween shit that I've been buying. Maybe if my sister and my partner get some good footage of the boo baskets being opened, I might tack those in here at the end. But since September is over, I think we're gonna end this here. I do have the desire to read a lot more spooky things next month, or this month, because hello, Halloween is coming up. I do have a TBR for Vampathon, which is at the very end of this month. So I am going to be potentially doing a little short video about my Vampathon TBR. I've noticed that a lot of people have been doing vampire related content lately, and I'm loving that because I feel like in the past few years vampires have not been in the limelight. Or is that just me? Plus we have Nosferatu coming out soon-ish. Is that coming out this year? I could Google it, like literally my computer's open in front of me, but I'm too lazy, I'm not doing it. I believe Nosferatu is coming out soon-ish, and I really want to see that. I recently purchased Longlegs on DVD. I'm trying to find the time to have my partner watch it. And then I noticed that Barbarian is streaming on Amazon Prime for free right now. So I want to have my partner watch Barbarian as well, because that's another one that just blew me away. I am so upset that it has not had a DVD release, because I would buy it immediately, without question. Without question. And then Oddity, I believe, is streaming on Shudder, and I have been meaning to sign up for Shudder because honestly Shudder is not that expensive. And even though I watch horror all year round, I definitely watch a lot of horror in October, like everybody. So plus I really want to see Oddity. I have heard such good things about it, and I missed it while it was in theater, and I'm so mad about that. So mad about that. But I digress. Anyway, what are y'all's plans for this spooky month coming up? If you've made it to the end of this video, please be sure to drop down like a little jack-o'-lantern or a ghosty in the comments. Let me know what you guys have been reading out there. Be sure to follow me on Bookstagram. Hellbound, Horror Book Hellbound, I think is what I'm called there too. But I'll link it because I never remember. But yeah, I will wrap this up with some B-roll. So I will catch you guys in the next vlog, and I hope life is going your way.